All right, so right now I just want to essentially just go over forms and CRUD actions again. Make sure they're all styled within this framework. So this is going to be a bit of a review. So first off, I want to make sure that I've got actually, let's start with our base.html. Inside my page header here, I'm also going to put a link to something to make a new post. I'll put a p tag here. I'll say href equals, and this isn't something we've made yet, I just know we will. URL, we're going to make something called new post. Just call it, right, oops. Actually, I'm going to add a cool little bit of bootstrap here to that inside of the link. So using glyphicons. Let's see. So we can't look at it yet because that link we're linking something doesn't exist yet. So let's fix that. So we're going to go to path. Call this new. Going to views dot new post, and name is going to equal new post. Let's make sure that views has something called new post at least. Pass here for now. Give it a second. There we go. Now I got a little plus sign here. And you can see at the bottom it's a link to post/new. There's just nothing there yet. Didn't return HTTP response, but it's a cool little bootstrap thing. Glyphicons. Very useful. All right. So now I'm going to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Django's cool magic form method. So at the top here, I'm going to make a new class. I'm going to call it post form. Oh, before I do that, I need to import something. I need to from Django. I need to import forms. So now I can make post form, which inherits from forms.modelForm. Inside of that, we'll make a class called meta. And we'll say the model is going to equal post. And we'll say that the fields that this form is going to have are going to be title and text. So all of this together is essentially a cool object that Django can create for us that can automatically generate forms for us. Down in new post, for now I'm just going to say form is going to equal a post form. I'm going to say return render request. We're going to go to a place called blog/postform.html. And we're going to give it a form called that is form. Now I need to make that post form HTML doc. There it is. And we're going to extend the block content. Send blogs.base. Then make sure everything is inside block content. So now I can say something like create a form. The method is going to be host. Give it a class, why not? Got to make sure we have our CSRF token. And then we can use form.asP, which will render the form for us. But we still need to add a submit button. So input, equals submit, value equals submit. Let's call it publish. So now if I click here, template does not exist. blog/base.html. Oh, blog, not blogs. There we go. So it's automatically got a title, text. I can do blah, 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 blah. Nothing happened yet, though. Yeah. So we submitted the form, but we don't have any action required to actually catch that. And so this is kind of a cool thing that we can do with doing Django. And that's what, I guess this is the Django way of doing it, is this new post method. What we're going to be telling it to do is, it essentially has two different functions. One is if it's a GET request, we're going to render the form. The other, if it's a POST request, we're going to create a new post. Probably a bad choice of words here because we have POST requests and posts. So in order to change that up, we can say, so you can check request.method, and if it equals post, then we're going to say our form equal to post form request.post. So that's going to get the actual data from the form for us. Then I can say if form.isValid, meaning everything's been filled out. Then I'm going to say post is then equal to form.save. And there's an option here I'm going to write called commit equals false. And so what this does is says, I'm going to make sure that I am saving the data from the form as a post object, but not committing it to the database yet. So I'm just creating an object in Python. That's what post is for now. And the reason I'm doing that instead of just saving it directly is that maybe I want to add the publish date. So I'm going to make sure from date time import date time. And I'm going to say post.publishDate equals date time .now. And then I'm going to save the post. Remember, whenever you do a successful post request or any kind of request where we're changing the data, we want to redirect, not re-render. So I'm going to have to make sure I'm getting the redirect method from Django shortcuts. So I'm going to say return redirect. I'm going to send it to post detail so you can see the post that you just made. And the post ID is going to equal post.id. And now this thing right here where we create the form is going to go inside an else. So if it's not a post request, we're going to render the new post form like we just did. So now, a second. So the new route is calling double duty here. So I just made it so I can publish articles. Very informative article, as you can see. There we go. Great. And the cool thing about this form is that we can have it pull double duty as both an edit form and a new form. So I think in the past, in addition to form, we also have this thing that says like what's it? Edit, like new or edit. Set it to new. So that's why, so that way we can say right here which one it's going to be. So like H2 new or edit. Post. So now it's this new post for now because I passed it in new. I can pass it in something else. So we're going to make it so we can update these now. So first off, I want to make sure post detail. I'm going to put a link here somewhere that'll allow us to update. So say, let's put that right here. Why not? So that would be get our URL helper. URL. This will be edit post. We'll want to say post ID equals post.id. Edit. Actually, before I go on, I just want to stop for questions. Does anyone have any questions about how we got that new form working? Sorry, I'm going a little fast. I didn't mean to. That'd be this whole thing right here.
Yeah, so with the whole request thing, so I just tried to not request, and then because I know it's asking for request.method post, like I don't exactly know like what are the so request is an object, but what are all the keys within request? Like what comes with it?
Yeah. So maybe we can look that up. So like look, Django request objects, see everything it has.
Al, I always love your questions. I was saying the same thing. I was having all the time troubleshooting last night.
All right, so let's see here. So we got here the HTTP request objects. So we got a scheme, we got a body, we got a path info, and there's method. So method here is what we're saying. Okay, what are we asking? What type of? How are we interacting with the server? And so a get request is always saying, I want to see something, and that's kind of consumed to be the default. And then a post request is, I want to change something. There are other types of requests as well, but I guess it's kind of being more fashionable instead of having like many different types of requests depending on what you're doing, just to put everything under the post umbrella.
Yeah, it's kind of there's like get, post, put, delete are the main ones. And there's like another one. It's like
Patch. Yeah, patch.
How is it that the views file is getting the request parameter, but we haven't imported HTTP requests in the file, or did we? I'm confused.
Yeah, we didn't import it directly.
This is like, I think that part is what confused me the most, because it's kind of like this magical function.
Yeah, this is something. This is something Django has running in the background. Essentially, whenever this function new post gets run, because we go to that URL, and so many tabs open now. Well, let me click on it. So go to where's URLs? There we go. Go to URLs here. So we're saying is whenever we go to this one, we're saying all right, run views.new post, and there's an implicit thing of here passing it the request object. So the request object is automatically generated when we visit this URL and passed into our view as an argument. And because it's passed in as an argument from outside this full file, essentially, we don't need to import anything because we're assuming it'll have certain behaviors.
So then what's like the default request object? And I'm just trying to like figure out how everything's connecting.
Yeah.
It seems like a request is a very vague object.
Yeah. I have an idea. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to pass it in. I'm going to send the request to our homepage and then see if we can render it.
okay. It's like a weird WSGI,
Yeah.
object.
And then I try to run a for loop I know in like in JavaScript, whenever it prints out, like
Yes, Jared.
you're able to see what's in the request in JavaScript.
Well, that's the other question I was having was like, how do you, like, because we are testing if the request we are getting from the URL is a get or a post. How does it happen? Like, sometimes it's get, sometimes it's post. Like, because the only thing we have is the URL so far, and it's going to the view file already, and it already decides like it's going to be a get or a post.
Good question. So again, by default, whenever we visit a page, we have to assume we're making a GET request, but just because that's what the URL bar does. So this form right here, we have this thing that explicitly says, when this form gets called, we are making a post request. When this form gets submitted, we are making a post request. So that's how it knows. It's the form it has something that says we are making a post request when this gets
So
submitted.
that tells the URL. Specifically.
Yes.
So, but then how does it know? So when it hits submit, it still goes through, it goes back to the function? Because it doesn't, like, in the form, it doesn't explicitly say when you hit submit, go back to this view function.
Yeah,
right?
that's part of the magic of form as P here. So
So inside that, it has information to return it to the.
yes.
Okay.
And so we could do something, we could do a version of this where it'd be form, I assume it'd be something like action equals, then we'd probably do this URL going to a specific endpoint. I'm assuming that's how it would work. Just like we do with URL, with links. But thanks to that post form class that we created, this thing is essentially doing all that work for us.
Delete's a little different. We don't have to talk about it now, but you don't want to come back to it when we've covered delete if we are. But where it doesn't have the form, or it optionally doesn't. And yeah, I ran into a problem last night just trying to define the method.
Yeah, so in this case, it's one of those things where you don't really need a big form to do that. Like, you can create a form, I suppose, but a delete button just needs a button that you click on that deletes it.
But for the if evaluation, or for the conditional, like if you want to, I guess I was having trouble putting the form method be delete, because it's always get by default, and so I wasn't hitting my condition.
Yeah, so we need to make a form specifically that specifically goes to a delete request.
Okay.
And so yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll be doing
Oh,
that
that helps.
today.
That helps.
Any other questions before we move on? Okay. So I'm gonna delete X a few of these out so I can actually see things. There we go. So urls.py, I'm gonna make a path to edit. So to do that, I'm gonna do path. And again, this is one of those things that it's kind of more of a convention thing. We don't have to do it this way. But in order to specify, I'm going to edit this particular post. I'm going to do edit / and then int post ID. So we go to post /1. We know we're going to view post number 1. But if it's post /edit /1, it knows we're going to be going to the form to edit this. Views.edit post, we'll call it. Name will equal edit post. Every time. One problem with Zoom is it's like, oh yeah, you want to see the bar for like 5 seconds? All right. Then we can make another method down here called edit post. That's going to take request and a post ID as arguments. And then we can kind of do something similar to what we did there. If request dot method is going to equal post. then we can essentially, we can just do everything we did right now. You can even just copy this whole thing out. Oh, okay, one sec. I can also out of whack all sorts. There we go. And the only thing we're going to change here is we're going to say edit. And I'm also going to get rid of this publish date thing because we don't want to change the publish date. So again, this is kind of all this stuff is done for us, which is good.
Hey Noah, if you wanted to add like an updated on date, would you just kind of change that there? You know, like if you read an article sometimes, there's initial post and then it shows when things were edited.
Yeah, so I could have I could add a field to post that could have last updated, called last updated, and I'll change that every time I make a post or make this request. Yeah, that would work. I would have to update my model to do that. So I would do something like and just do the same thing here. But then I could say, oh, when I get to here, last updated equals datetime.now. So this is all things that we can change as we go through it. And so let's see if this works. Test it out. Oh, something may be wrong on the server side. I may be missing something. Oh, equals. Boop. Log.views has no attribute edit post. I may need to restart the server. Boop. No, it still says I don't have something called edit post. Weird. Oh, wait, indentation errors. Okay, this is going to take a while.
Is there a shortcut to select multiple lines and move them back?
Probably, but I forgot what it was. All right. Okay. Takes me to edit post. I have changed this, I have updated this. So now it should say that. I go to click this. Oh my god, wait, I did something wrong. I just created a new one. All right, what did I do wrong? I'm sorry?
Edit post. You need to grab a post instance, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. I need to say post equals. Yeah, thank you. And then I need to add, so this thing needs to say instance equals post. And then I need to do that down here as well. So that's how the form knows that, hey, wait a second, this is editing, not creating something new. So let's try Django again 2. There we go. We know it's working now because it's actually autofilled. Add some exclamation points on there. Now, hopefully, there's only one article called Django Rocks again 2. Yeah, so it's that instance equals post is what's saying, okay, this form is, that tells the post form that this is an edit thing, not a create thing. Otherwise, it's going to assume that you're making a new just creation form. All right. Any questions about that? All right. In that case, I'm gonna just add a delete button now. So down here, I'm gonna have a link actually. I'm gonna set this to be a URL helper. URL is gonna go to delete post. I can remember how to spell. And the post ID is going to be post.id. We'll call it delete this post. And then we need to create a route for that. So we go to URLs. Make one called path. Call it delete. Oh, it's called actually. Yeah, delete slash int post ID. And go to views dot delete post. The name is going to be delete post. Views.py. We don't need an entire separate page just to delete something after all. So I'm going to say, call this delete post. It's going to take a request and a post ID. And we're going to say post equals get object of 404. Post ID equals post ID. Now, if I really wanted to be irresponsible, I could just say post.delete. What's the problem there?
May I accidentally click it? You're not evaluating the method.
Not evaluating the method, and also I could do it via a get request, which is a little dangerous. I could just go to /delete/1 and it would immediately delete it. So actually, in that case, a link is probably a very bad idea because links can only do that. So let's try this again. Let's make a form.
Okay. Type it.
Yeah, so action should be. So I think in this case we actually would do URL
Delete paste.
delete post. Post ID equals post.id. And then we'd say method equals post. And then we'll just give it a submit button. Then here in the views, I want to say, okay, only do this if request.method equals post. Someone makes a get request to this endpoint, we just want to ignore it. Then we can say post.delete. Then we can say you return a redirect to post list. So we want to get rid of it. Okay, give it a second. So this article, we have this delete post button. I'm actually going to inspect it here to make sure it actually does what if it's going to the place I think it will. Not the console. I'm going to submit post. It goes to post/delete/4. The method is post. So try deleting the post. Uh-oh. Oh, see, remember we have those CSRF tokens in all our forms? Forgot to do that. This is what happens. Try it again. It's gone. But if I try to go to delete/1, then return HTTP response object. So I probably should put an else there saying what to do if you try to go to this URL. So right, else. Yeah, maybe I'll do the post. Gonna do request. Log / post detail. Not form. Post is now post. Oh, .html, thank you. So I'm at post /delete/1, but I'm just looking at the view page. I can still delete it by using this form here. Yeah, so when you want to delete something, usually you just need a form that only has a button. That'll usually do it. And then just have something right here that says, again, so this is how you make a form without the form help. That's not it. This is how you make a form without the form helper. It works a lot like adding a link. Just also saying method equals post. Thank you. Any questions on that?
Actual production databases, you are actually rarely ever actually deleting data. You're just updating a column in the database saying that this person is no longer active. Like, okay, if you delete your user from Facebook, you're actually not deleting your profile. You still exist.
Like an hop switch.
Yeah. They like collecting data, but
All your data is still.
and I think with some things still get deleted as well.
Some things also have like data retention dates that are like required to
Right.
there. By the organization.
But usually, at least they make it harder to just, delete something just by running .delete.
Right. Yeah, that's bad.
The privacy requirements and stuff.
There's some fun stories you can find online about
All right. In that case, that's it for today. In that case, we've got another challenge to do. So this one's going to be event calendar. So again, what might be good before you jump into that is to go over the tutorial that we just did on your own. That one goes into a lot more detail on like specific styling things you can do. So that might give you some idea. That might give you some ideas on how to make your site better. And then you're going to be doing event calendar. Thank you all very much. I think we are.